Taurus is starting the year out right with a new product to take over an old line. I'm Chris with jerry'soutdoorsports.com, and this is the GX2. The G2 has been with us for a long time, long enough that I would describe it as a staple of the Taurus lineup. But a lot has changed in the industry and at Taurus since 2013 when the G2 dropped, including another iteration of it, the G3. And honestly, I couldn't tell you the differences between the G2 and the G3 off the top of my head. But the GX2 is a brand new species, or it would seem to be. If you like content like this, then you're going to love our giveaways, like this Browning X-Bolt in 6.5 PRC with a Leica scope. If you want a chance to get this, then follow the link tree in the description. If you want to support the channel directly, then visit our physical store or our web store for all of your Freedom Seed needs. Also, make sure to follow us on X and Facebook, where we post specials and I post memes that will eventually get me fired. The G2 is 1.2 inches wide, 6.2 inches long, and has a 3.4 inch barrel. It's coming in at 19 ounces, which, while not outrageous, is a little bit on the chunky side, kind of like me after the recent holidays. The sights are metal with a white dot up front and blacked out serrated in the rear, which is the proper answer. Glock really needs to start cheating off of Taurus's worksheet. Gone is the double single action trigger of the G2, replaced with a really good single action trigger. We've also got a safety on there that is dramatically improved from the G2 series. It has a very positive detent for taking it off, and there's not really much of a chance that you're accidentally going to activate it. The trigger for the GX2 comes straight from the GX4, which is not a bad thing. I really did like the GX4 that I got to test last year. The trigger has about 4 millimeters to take up before you come to a nice firm wall, then breaks at about 5.5 pounds with about 6 millimeters of over travel. And the reset is audible and tactile, but it could stand to be a little bit more decisive. That's not the only thing that's taken from the GX4. The magazine, straight out of the GX4. A 15-round magazine from a GX4 carry will fit and function in the GX2. The trigger guard and mag release are also sourced from that, along with the fire control chassis that goes in this. And that's, again, not a bad thing. One thing that doesn't hold over is the takedown system. The GX2 has a toolless takedown system with this tiny little button right here, and it's one of the things that I really dislike about the GX2. There's just not enough of a moment arm there to easily get that rotated down without fighting it quite a bit. This could have been easily improved with just another couple of millimeters of length on there. While there are a lot of similarities to the GX4, there's enough morphological differences in the GX2 that it does have a far different shooting feel. The GX2 slide is wider and heavier, which results in a bouncier recoil feel, though not even remotely punishing. The grip is small, especially for somebody like me who has fairly large hands, and it is rounded. So despite a really good skateboard tape-like texture in there, I felt it wanting to kind of twist and bobble in my hand as firing strings got longer. It was reliable with everything I put in it, including a handful of odd hollow points. It honestly shoots about like you would expect a compact pistol to shoot. The trigger is a dramatic improvement over the old G2, where with the G2 you had to pull that trigger 1.5 miles all the way back to the frame before it would finally fire. Honestly, if I could get this trigger in the full-size G3 platform, I would love that whole package. Right now, none of the GX2s have an optics ready option, which Taurus is trying to be very price conscious about this, so I find that acceptable. But I do see a TORO edition of this coming out sooner or later, and a full-size version. The way Taurus has built this has made sure that there's a lot of options and variants that can be made from this system. As I tried to push bill drills faster with the GX2, I noticed rounds drifting off to the left as it rotated in my hand because of that smaller grip. Now, I don't think that's a bad thing because it's going to make sure that the GX2 is accessible to smaller folks. But I don't think I'm going to be reaching for the GX2 series anytime soon. Now, as a successor to the G2 series, I think Taurus did a lot of really smart things here. Chief amongst those was borrowing heavily from the excellent GX4. This is going to serve to simplify the production process and offers a lot of options for growth and development in this. Now, the G2 has been the butt of a lot of jokes, but I don't think that's a distinction that the GX2 is going to have. Anyway, I'm Chris with Jerry'sOutdoorSports.com, and I'll see you next time.